I'm leaving my phone on loud because my wife's about to shit out of crotch goblin in the next week or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Marty back with another video. Back with the lads, the Pillow Talkers are back to wreck your head yet again. Thanks everybody for tuning into the last video. What was the last video about? It was our
don't
five
remember.
favourite movies from the 80s, kind of underground movies. So this time we're going to talk about 5 films that we do not like. We were going to use the word hate, but we think that's a bit strong. But these are 5 movies we picked each that a lot of people like, but we don't like them for certain reasons.
Well, I hate the movies.
And we're going to tell you about it.
I hate the movies that I've picked.
He hates the movies.
I have varying degrees of discomfort
Yeah.
with the films.
That's
I
because
just
you're
don't like these movies because they don't do anything for me.
Okay.
sexually.
anyway at all. So yeah, so we kick off, and as per usual, we're going to let Dwayne break the
Start?
iceberg. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No
first
pun
of all, what? No pun intended. My first movie is.
He's going to his phone. Isn't that great? That's copyright.
Yeah, big issue strike.
Is this absolute piece of shit? Titanic.
What's it about?
It's about a big boat.
Right.
What's it called?
Titanic. It's just, what's there to like about it?
Why do you not like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Suppose I seen it first when I was a younger person and a child,
Yeah.
and
Titanic.
first of all, it gave
That's
me
the case for every film you've seen, by the way.
it gave me a fear.
Was it the in-journey movie on Titanic?
No, it gave me real anxiety about going on ships.
Fair
I
enough.
hadn't been on a ship. I was on my first ship
Okay.
when I was. Stop smiling. I was on my first ship when I was 15 years of age, and I immediately brought me back to watching Titanic and watching all the water come in and just rush at people.
And did you get off with an artist on the ship, or?
No, because I was 15.
Right.
So was she. But...
So yeah, she probably was younger than. But you see, I think sometimes
Did you get your boobs out?
yeah.
Cool.
No,
Why does that make it a bad film?
well,
Yeah.
you see, no, I
Seriously,
was just saying, like, initially it frightened me, okay? But then when I watched it further on, I just think, first of all, the CGI is awful.
But it is like flipping.
What year was that?
97?
97.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. The CGI of Jurassic
Okay,
Park was
yeah, fair.
awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Okay.
terrible
All
CGI,
right.
okay?
Mm.
And the love story, like, not that I'm not a huge fan of romance movies, but like when you just liken it to other romance stories, the romance story in this is absolute. It's drivel. It's shite.
But is it not a side story to what's going on?
Well,
what
of
the
course
film's
it's a
about?
side story, but it's just really bad.
I do think that it had to end there, that love story, because like she was like mega rich and stuff, and within 2 weeks of her like sleeping homeless in like alleyways or whatever, she'd have thought like, fuck this, I should have stuck with it.
She would have been back home to the
Yeah.
rich man.
It's just the same film.
Yeah, remember
Oh,
at the
yeah,
very
yeah,
end,
yeah.
she's like, what's your name, madam? She's like, Rose Dawson. You know, that's what she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jack Dawson, like, first of all, his hair is magnificent for being someone that's like in lower class. He doesn't look smelly. Who does he get the suit off when he joins the real extravagant meal?
Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Molly
Does
Brown. She gives him the suit.
But sure, how does she know his size?
Because she
there's-
says my
She's a
ex-husband is about the same size as you, I think, doesn't she?
Does she?
Does she?
Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah, he remembers
Yeah, there's something like that, yeah.
You see, and that's what I don't get. And also, oh man, the fucking the lower class party with the diddly, and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's really no, it's not just that.
it
It's
is
not
that.
just that.
It's
It's not just that. But it's so shite, and it just like it really portrays Irish people as cretins as well. You know,
Yeah, it does.
it does. Like, you know, we are crabs in that
Yeah.
movie. You know, but like, and then the only other Irish guy that's really unnaturally Irish gets shot. and then the orchestra people, the musicians on the deck, oh, let's keep on playing to keep people calm, and they just keep on playing even when the ship is like that. They're just standing straight.
Right.
The only good thing about that movie is, you know, when the ship is up at the top, like when it's sinking.
Oh, yeah, when one goes clattering off the...
Yeah, the person falls. and
Bounces
gets
of everything, a
well,
pinball machine.
but he clatters off the big propeller,
Yeah.
and it makes a big bang, as if you'd hear it.
What say ye, Marty Mac? Do you like it?
Me, I do like Titanic. That's why I have it. I don't normally. It's fair enough reason. I don't normally keep Millums. I don't normally keep films that I don't like in my collection. Now I do have a few today because they're there for a reason and explained. But I like this film. I like anything to do with Titanic. I sort of have a what would you call it? A draw to disaster movies.
Okay, yeah,
especially real ones, because
you see, I think this would be such. Apparently, because I remember looking up, because remember there was this huge thing when it came out.
I know what you're going to say.
They looked up to see was there a Jack Dawson in Titanic. Yeah. What do you think I was going to say?
It'd be a better film if it didn't sink.
Well, of course, it'd be a better film. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a movie if it didn't sink. But
have you seen Raise the Titanic?
No.
With Jason Robards.
Is it good?
Yeah.
But even the start, even the start. I'm not trying to be funny, but at the end, and then they're interviewing the old lady, and she's like, "We're in the heart of the ocean," and then and what's is it? Dennis is it? It's not Dennis Quaid. What's his name? That's at he's dead now.
Oh, fuck yeah. I do know what it is. Keep going on here.
Yeah, man. He interviews her and he's like, "Oh, tell us your story."
Oh yeah.
But he's all like, "Oh, tell us your story, dude." And he's all like right. And he's like an undersea.
Bill Paxton, isn't it?
Bill Paxton.
It doesn't say that.
Is he dead now? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Bill. But and then at the very end, it shows her just walking down the fucking the deck, a really clean boat deck in a shitty fishing kind of trawler.
Totally horned out, thinking about Leo.
Just going. And then she goes.
I think it's decent enough. I went to the cinema to watch it's like the 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary, I can't remember. But they were showing it in 3D on the IMAX.
And was it good?
Yeah,
I'd say it looked great.
Yeah, good.
I see.
I can see why you don't like it, though.
I think quite honestly, there's been so many good other movies and documentaries, even like more real life stuff about the sinking of the Titanic. And if they left it as a disaster movie, it would have been I think it would have been a good movie. I don't like the love story part of it. Nothing against romance or love stories, but it was just like, what?
For cinema audience, I think to put that factor into it, they do that with a lot of natural event movies, like we were talking about Pearl Harbor earlier on.
Yeah.
The love story in that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it messed up the movie. I still like the movie because the whole Pearl Harbor battle is brilliant in it. And everything. I know there's a mushy element to it, but still. But I mean, this has to be the last Titanic movie made. If they make another one now, what are they going to do? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think it'd be made any better. There has been a few over the years.
Danielle Steele's Titanic is better,
stuff, but
Danielle Steele's Titanic is better.
That's a different kind of film,
romance novels.
But anyway, happy. It's your choice. I wouldn't have put it in this list.
I'm not a fan of it. I think they just look so gamey after that sex scene as well.
I'm not fussed either way.
Those windows need a really good proper
cleaning. Oh man, yeah. And then the handprint is still there, but they're looking for them. Remember that?
Yeah.
Ooh, they've been shagging in the car.
Would you prefer it if there was a tongue print beside the handprint?
Or someone wrote Dwayne was here.
I prefer if there was fucking jizz in the seat or something.
Oh, right.
There would have been.
There would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Okay, Marty, what you got?
Okay, my choice. Okay, now I've got kind of a varied bunch here. There's 3 horrors in this. As most people in the channel will know, I'm big into horror. And I collect horror, and I have these in my horror collection because I either was given them or I just got them cheap. And they're there just because if anybody comes in. So how come you haven't got this in your collection?
You have a cupboard full of human ears under the sink there, don't you?
Yeah. That's my Sunday lunch. But yeah, this movie, I'm going to show you. It's a twin pack of both, but the original Blair Witch Project. I know you like this. I know a lot of people rave about this, but I just noticed when I was looking for movies that I'm a fucking not a hater of found footage movies, but I really don't like them. The only found footage movie I really, really appreciate and would recommend is Rec. R-E-C.
Oh yeah.
Rec. Absolutely amazing Spanish movie. The first 2 of them are just fantastic. Yeah. Third and fourth ones aren't the Mae West.
Third and fourth.
There is, yeah. Oh, they're not great. One of them actually isn't found footage. It's another film, but it's based on that series. But I don't get the Blair Witch. I can't. Maybe I have no patience, but I can't stand watching a movie, waiting for something to happen. And the highlight of this movie is a snotty nose. And there's absolutely nothing. Okay, I'm sure there's tension in it, but I have watched that film. This is actually still in the case because I don't intend ever watching it. Yeah, I don't see the point. If you want to bring it home, you can.
I don't have a Blu-ray player, as we said in the last video.
That was a couple weeks ago, and still hasn't got one. But yeah, I don't get found footage films. Yeah. A lot of them. I think it's a lot of waiting game. I've watched a lot of better movies, horror movies. I really don't get this.
I really like this.
I like
Now,
it.
I'm not
but
using the word hate, but I just will never watch again. And I think it's overrated. I don't think there's enough to it. It's
like
probably
it.
one of the original found footage movies. It's the horrors.
I like it, but I get
days.
why you don't like it. But I do. I like it. I'm a fan of it.
Blair
you know.
Witch,
I think that's a real Marmite film. Like, I think that does split people.
Marmite, for people
yeah.
who don't know what Marmite is,
Yeah.
for all your USA viewers.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, well, the Aussies, they don't like Australians. What's Marmite?
I think it's yeast
Marmite,
extract.
yeah.
Yeast infection.
It's like a spreadable yeast.
Spreadable yeast.
Contagious
yeast infection.
Spreadable thrush.
But I think that kind of stuff makes it feel that it's more likely to happen. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say about
Well,
like
see,
a kind
the
of
thing about the Blair
spooky
Witch
woods.
is that you're terrified, technically, of nothing shows up. You're terrified of.
Yeah.
Do you think it does a good enough job to create
Yeah.
that terror?
I think it does, but once again,
For me, it doesn't. Maybe I've watched too many horror movies or something, but I
why
just
you
don't
like it.
Do you know, like I'm not going to spoil. I know it's like 20 years old,
Yeah.
but the climax of the film, like I know everyone thinks that's really underwhelming, but to me that's fucking terrifying.
Well, if you walked into a room and you,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
very,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another one I'm going to have to rewatch. We'll have to watch it, the three of us or something like that, and then really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Are
you can play
afraid?
it all the way through.
But yeah, I just don't get found footage. It has to be really. There's too much of a weight for anything in this. I mean, I've watched some shitty horror movies from the 60s and 70s. I will give anything a try, but it just didn't do anything for me, unfortunately.
do you have? And this is a funny question. I'm not trying to be funny when I say it, but does found footage give you motion sickness or any of that kind of shit as well?
No, I don't find
A
that.
lot of people do watch found footage
Yeah.
and they go, "I can't watch this. Gives me a fucking headache."
Now there is another series of found footage here because they're even worse than this. So there you go. That's me. Blair Witch. Let us know in the comments what you think. I'm sure a lot of people like it, but it just doesn't do anything for me. Can't do it. Next,
Okay,
Peter.
right. For me, there's one film I think is legitimately a bad film here, but these are just films that
one
I
of
think
mine.
people, I think people talk about in a way that they just don't deserve, and the number of people that talk about these films.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, overrated in a way, as you would say.
Yeah, way overrated.
Yeah,
and like I don't know why. Like some films are overrated, but I can see kind of why they were.
Yeah.
Whereas these, not so much. Right, the first for me is John Wick. Like all of my friends, like you should watch this film. It's really good. It's
And
like
when you watched it, how did you feel?
underwhelmed. But it was like if you liked the first Matrix, this is the movie or whatever. And
Yeah.
I just think it's just too much. It's like kill all the way through. And it's just the repetition makes the kind of final act kills for me just pointless. Like it feels really undercooked.
There's no boss battles because it's all a boss battle.
And then
Yeah.
also like Keanu Reeves again just doesn't do it for me. There's another actor in this, Willem Dafoe. I think if he was John Wick,
Yeah.
it would have been a better film.
Would have broken his hip.
And then it shows the parts of that Willem Dafoe is in. Like the story isn't kind of cooked. Like he's like I don't care about him or whatever. And like usually I would because I like Willem Dafoe, but
Yeah.
just a really kind of underwhelming, disappointing movie.
Do you think it goes, because I once again I know what you're saying, and I kind of enjoyed it, but it was one of those movies I watched once and I haven't watched any of the sequels.
Yeah, no.
I have no desire, but do you think like it kind of reminds me of the way the direction Liam Neeson is going with the Taken and the shoot 'em up movies?
I was
Just
saying
like,
to
what
Martin
the
that
fuck?
I was really close to having Taken in these films, but I think this is a bigger offender.
Yeah.
And I think the premise of this, like I don't know much about it. Is it based on a comic? It feels like it should be.
It's
I don't know, but because it's got its own world and lore,
Universe.
you'd
Yeah.
imagine that it was. There's,
Yeah.
It
but
goes.
it's just clever way of creating a series of movies. Then, if it wasn't
Yeah.
like, by creating this kind of lore, but yeah,
What do you think?
Do you like John Wick?
I like John Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick for me is, if I want to go into and watch a movie that's fast paced, just people kicking the shit out of each other for an hour and a half, I know what I'm going to get. I know I'm not going to get anything else, and that's the kind of movie that John Wick is. The same if I want to listen to a bit of death metal, I put a bit of death metal on, 100 miles an hour death metal, I know what I'm getting. This is the kind of movie it is. I'm not expecting anything else from a John Wick movie.
How many sequels is there?
There's 4 parts to it now, and I like them all. I think they're all decent.
Are they all more or less the same though?
The second one is as good as that, if not better. The third one gets a bit weird. Halle Berry's in it, and then the fourth one is actually very good. It's still set in the same world, but it's a different outtake. And people aren't chasing John or that. There's a kind of a battle, not a battle, there's a big fight off in it. But I like them all because I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think even the premise of the film, like his wife dies, and she's like, right.
Not a dog, is it not?
His dog gets
His
killed.
wife wasn't the dog, no.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah. So his wife dies, and she writes this really flipping patronising letter. It's like, well, I know you can't live without me or whatever, so here's a dog, kind of, so you're not miserable for
rough.
the rest of your
bit
life
rough.
or whatever. And he has the dog for like 2 minutes, and then the dog gets killed. This is not a spoiler. This is in the first couple
The guy
of
from
minutes.
Game of Thrones kills
It is,
the
yeah.
dog. Yeah.
And then
Jon Snow.
No.
and then he just kills all of the world to do this
Yeah.
thing. Whereas, like, part of you'd be thinking, like, I can't work now because I've got to look after this. She knows I'm single. I haven't got any other, so I have to leave this dog at home all the time.
Even when I'm going down the shop.
So you think part might have been relief. It's like, oh, he's dead. Like, I don't have to do it. Do you know what I mean? But it would be. Because you can't get rid of the dog because the wife's give you the dog.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now you've got this flipping cross to bear for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I
he
mean?
gets the second dog in the second one.
Dog
No
lovers
spoiler,
out
but-
there.
Yeah,
Dogs aren't
everybody's
crosses
seen
to
John
bear.
Wick.
Okay.
Everybody's seen John. Yeah.
Next.
I'm a bit surprised, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're a
No,
bit
'cause-
surprised.
Yeah, because as I said, if you're looking for an action movie, you can't go better
But,
than John
but
Wick.
it's too much.
But I get.
But I get
because-
what you're
I
coming
get what you're
from.
saying because I've watched the first one. I have no desire to watch any of the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, another movie that I've watched the first one and I have zero desire to watch any of the rest of them is I hate The Godfather. Now, okay, I suppose hate is a strong word, but I watched this, hearing so much about it, after hearing about it from family and friends and going, it's like one of the best movies. And once again, but it's,
I put you onto this in the movie club, I think.
Is it only the movie club? You
Yeah.
heard about that?
no.
Not heard about
Not
it.
heard
but-
about it, but you watched it
My-
after the movie club.
My
did you?
sisters,
Miles.
my sisters
I was gonna say.
told me to watch it as well, and we watched it there. And I was watching this movie, kind of expecting something to happen, and then the Godfather dies in his tomato patch, and I was like,
Not in that
fair
movie.
enough.
Manful del Monte.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean,
That's
yeah.
essentially it. And I mean, look, I get for its time, I get it, but it's like, I suppose it is a drama, but I mean, there's more drama in an episode of Coronation Street.
I still think you need to watch the second one because it's a slow burn build for the second one. Second one's class.
Man, it's like
I think both class.
I was going to say this is going to sound weird, but does the length of it scary?
yeah, man, it's
But-
I would say that's definitely not a problem
No,
for
but
him.
with some movies, if you look at the time, what's the time
Yeah.
frame on that? It does put a lot of people off, especially if it's a slow burn drama.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. You know, it's a slow burner.
It just reminds me of having a
can't say
wank
it,
and not being able to come,
glasses.
like, you know, that's what it reminds me. But I'm not. It's very. That's what I mean. It's very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I found because
Yeah.
like you're kind of the whole way through, you're kind of waiting for something to happen, and yet things do happen.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just like, and then I find myself kind of, you know, when you're watching the movie and you're like, oh, this is not too bad, and you're kind of going, and then kind of waking up. And
What
going,
time of
"Oh."
night did you watch it?
What time was it at?
It was during the day,
4
man.
a.m.
It was during the day, and
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
there was
fair.
and there was
But-
loads of tea going around.
I always say this. I think movies are a mood thing as well. Same with music. You got to be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you put that on at 7:00 in the evening and you're after watching a football match, you're not gonna
And
get
you
it. You're
always
not gonna
say
spend
that.
the
See,
time.
I
you
don't
get
like football.
I always say it
don't
every
like
day.
this. I don't like football, and I don't like this.
But you know where I'm coming from. You got to be in the mood to watch a movie.
But I don't think
Yeah.
I'd
Give it
ever.
the time
I don't think
to
I'd ever
digest.
be in a mood to watch this
Yeah.
movie. And
Yeah.
look, and once again, I understand.
But
why
you must have
people like
watched through the trilogy then to know.
I haven't watched any more of them. It's put me off watching any more of them. I don't want to know what happens
Oh.
anymore. It's just my. But I don't have any desire.
Yeah.
Um,
I felt the same way after 4 seasons of The Sopranos. I said, I have enough of this. I don't want to watch any more of it. Yeah, I did. I didn't want to watch any more of it.
here we go. Here's the tension
Yeah.
you've been looking for.
But you know what I mean? I had 4 flipping million hours of it, and that was enough for me. What else can these guys do?
That
I lost interest, but I do
watch
like
The
that
Sopranos.
movie.
Like,
But-
look, I understand.
We watched this at Movie Club a couple of months ago.
Oh, did you?
Now it'll be another couple of years before I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's that
Yeah.
sort of movie. You've seen it.
Well, look,
Yeah.
the thing is, I understand why you watch it. You're a fucking fool, but I understand. Understand why you like
Film
it.
at what?
Look, I'm only
Sopranos?
joking. I'm only joking.
No, no, but yeah.
I just don't like it. I could not get into it, and I just I was finding it hard to stay awake.
Fair.
Nothing against any Italians.
Did you like The Irishman?
I haven't watched it.
it's over 4 hours. It's going to be a killer for you.
Oh man, yeah, I know. You see,
And
I
it has some good stuff, but I think it's because of the length of it, you're losing the big good stuff because you can't remember.
I suppose I do like more fast. If I was watching a crime, I'm not a huge fan of crime movies. Like I love horrors, I love kind of different thrillers and stuff. Crime movies. The one crime movie I do love is The Departed, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh.
And Mark Wahlberg. I like.
Departed's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great film, and I mean, like that's the kind of
because it's a bit more fast paced. There's a lot more to it.
but there's more of a
people
story.
dying in it.
I just find there's no story to this. Okay, yeah, you know,
Mario Puzo wrote a book, so it has to be.
Well, you fine.
But yeah, no, I get why you.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
It's another 70s slow burner. It was 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
I get it. I disagree with you, but like I get it. Yeah.
For the time, groundbreaking. I can't get into.
I think you should watch the second one. I'll give it to you. You can watch it. Watch it in two batches.
No.
2 batches.
No.
Okay.
I'd rather dig shit with a spoon.
My next one is a modern movie. Now, because I picked this one off the shelf, I've actually picked the prequel to it, or the first movie. This is the second one in the series. So I picked Top
Gun.
Toto.
I was going to say Tom Cruise.
Top
Top Gun, Maverick. And I've even pulled this one out as well. Because I will never ever watch this again. Like,
you don't like it?
No, and I won't, because of this. I won't go back to watch this ever again. I don't feel ever the need to watch this. The need for speed to watch it again. That came out for nowhere. But you know what I'm saying? This is fucking...
Wow.
This is tripe. This is the first 20 minutes of this again, with younger actors, with newer actors, and then it's 2 hours or more of just fucking drone footage of a plane flying around. It's as boring as shit. It's like an advertisement for a plane.
Can I tell you a secret?
What?
I've never seen Top Gun.
Once again, Dwayne's list is getting bigger. But yeah, I do not like this. And I'm into visual stuff. I will buy 4Ks because of the quality of the whole lot. But it is basically an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4 of fucking just a drone of a plane flying around.
I'm not a fan of Tomontology Cruise.
Yeah, there's a bit more action in this, but this one here, the first one, like, what? They're running on fucking test missions. They're flying around. It's just a girly flick man with some cool actors in it. Tom Cruise.
It's a kind of a pissing contest, is it, between different men?
Yeah, Tim Robbins, and it's just you know, it's neither here nor there. It's not a war movie. It's a training movie, and it's just these cool guys flying upside down faster than their guy wants them to, and that's it. Like, you know, and this one is the same thing, but just with 4K footage of a fucking plane flying upside down.
I agree.
Who gives a shit?
I think they're both shite films.
They are shite. Do you want these
and
as well?
I think as well, like this, like, he's so unlikable. Like, all of them, all the characters in them. That kind of at the start of the second film, it's like, right, I'm going to do exactly what I've not been told.
The guy from ER or something died in the first one, and
is he back in the second one?
Who cares? Like, you know, you're better off watching Hot Shots Part 1 and 2 with Charlie Sheen for a bit of fun, because these are not fun. And when they start singing in that bar, you just want to knife them.
Who do you like least, Charlie Sheen?
What was the song they sang in it? And your woman was back in this. What's her? I'm looking at
your woman.
Kelly McGillis. Remember, she was in the first one, looking fine.
Haven't seen
and
it.
because she was a bit older,
looking fine.
Because she was a bit older in this one, they fucked her in the one scene and then told her to fuck off.
Is she one from Labyrinth in this one now, isn't it?
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly works in the bar in the new one. But really dog shit. Never going to watch it again, and I'm definitely not going to ever put on.
You were saying you'd prefer Charlie Sheen or Tom Cruise?
Yeah, they both seem to be like despicable people.
Well, you see, Charlie Sheen is kind of look, yeah, he's pretty despicable, but he's kind of admitted his despicableness. You know, he has. In fairness,
well, he hasn't made a lot of good movies apart from Hot Shots.
Yeah,
I like that thing. But that's me next, Danny. It was. And I'm not giving out about Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise, but I just don't like that fucking movie.
I don't like Tom Cruise.
There's a tenuous link between my film and your film.
Oh,
what?
But there you go. This was not planned.
You like Tom Cruise as well.
From one Scientologist hiding something to another Scientologist hiding something.
Sandy!
Grease. Like, I think...
Got a dance, Martin.
Fun fact, this was Martin's first film in the cinema, was it, Martin?
Yeah, I think I went to see it when I was about 7 or 8 with my sister, so it would have been about 1980, 81.
Did it make
I don't know what year it came out. What did it come out in? 78? 77.
So you're
It's going to keep going down to get it.
Yeah,
You're admitting
we'll
that,
say that.
you're admitting that
1977.
when movies come out in America, it took them 3 years to get to the fucking cinema in Cavan here, in Town Hall Street.
I took
What was
an
the
extra
name
year to get from Dublin to
of,
Cavan.
fucking right. What was the name of the old cinema?
The Magnet.
The Magnet.
Oh,
There's, there was rats in that film.
I can remember when it was
They were
Storm.
working there.
You remember when it was which?
Storm.
It was well. That was
Oh,
up to no. This is down in
Magnet
Town
cinema
Hall
was
Street.
down across from the town hall.
Oh, what's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. It was rats. Do you know what my first movie I ever
Where
seen? there?
AXA Insurance is now.
Do you want to know what the last film in that cinema was?
What?
Because the poster was up for about 7 months after
Go
it was
on.
closed still. While you were sleeping, Sandra Bullock.
Really?
I went to see that with a girl. This is a real story.
Sandra
I
Bullock.
told
go
you
on.
from.
Go on.
I went to see this with a girlfriend while you were sleeping, right? And like she wasn't like a girlfriend, but it's like the start of a relationship, and it was this film. And
Was it?
right? It was. And like I put my hand out to hold, and she held my hand. Right? I was like, "It's happening. It's
That's
happening."
not my hand.
And then she held my hand for like half an hour, and I couldn't move my hand, and my hand was getting sweaty and itchy, and I couldn't move. It's like,
Itchy hand. Itchy hand.
yeah, well, while
Yeah.
you're sleeping.
That's the story.
That was it.
Yeah.
Well, my
That's a bit like The Godfather's disappointing at the end.
my first
That's a fucking great
the
story.
first movie I ever seen in The Magnet was the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Another one, the 90s one.
Oh, shit. I used to go every Sunday in the 80s. I seen Popeye, Ghostbusters, Santa Claus the movie, everything in that bloody cinema.
Santa Claus the movie was out at that time.
Yeah. it was
Anyway.
in the 80s.
Greece.
Greece. Sorry, yeah, we're talking about Greece.
Sorry.
I think Greece is
Can I see that for a
quantifiably
second? I think it's 1960s.
a terrible film.
Well, it couldn't be.
Terrible acting. Terrible plot.
Yeah.
Danny is a flipping shitbag.
Oh, he's a cunt.
yeah,
Funny.
I didn't mean to say
we'll
the C
beat
word.
that. Well, Martin will beat that.
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing.
I'm not beeping anything.
Um,
Go for it.
Yeah, and then there's kind of like 40-year-old men in high school kind of chatting to...
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just... I don't get how it's
No.
such a big deal.
And the fact that Sandy has to change completely to
Yeah.
attract Danny.
But Danny
yeah.
changes as well, doesn't
No,
he?
he fucking doesn't. He
doesn't.
stays exactly
He is.
the same.
I think he
He
bullshits.
did at the start. He changed into a bit of a wolf and then he went back to the school and he was like...
Jeez.
he was... a wuss, sorry.
Yeah. I bet you'll beat that one.
No?
But yeah, like he changed it, so he's lying
Yeah.
at the start, and then he becomes less of
She's
a liar.
like, all right, Danny.
But then
You're
she-
all sensitive and stuff, Danny. And he's like, Sandy.
But then she starts smoking and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a dickhead too." Do you know what I mean?
But I mean, it's based on a stage musical, isn't
Obviously
it?
a true
Which
story.
came first, the musical or this? The musical, didn't it?
The chicken.
No, I
actually,
don't
no,
know.
it was a musical because your man Kinnicky was Danny, I think, in the musical.
Right,
Kinnicky.
Kinnicky, yeah. But see,
what do you think?
I like it. It's
thought you didn't
cheese,
like
but
dancing.
I don't really like music. I like an odd musical, but I mean, I have the nostalgia factor to it about the cinema, but it is what it is. It's a fucking musical based on a stage musical thing. I mean, it's not going to be brilliant script, brilliant anything.
broke down
Songs are
barriers.
catchy, like
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like hand
it's
jive.
the one that I want,
Time
man.
to
It's-
hand jive, baby.
Grease is
That's
the
great
word.
tune.
I bet you hand drive a lot, do you?
I hate singers who sing with their hands.
Singers to sing with that.
Yeah, do you ever see boy bands? I hate this. What's wrong with your hands, man?
What's
But,
wrong?
yeah,
Yo.
I think
I get it. A lot of people aren't into musicals. You like musicals. You're a musician, like.
I hate musicals.
Doesn't mean you're fucking like, I'm a musician too, I don't like fucking musicals. I hate musicals.
But this is like a whole industry. I would say that there's a large like proportion of the world that this is their favourite film. And I have another one that is someone else's favourite film. I just don't get it. It feels like a Nickelodeon
Yeah.
thing.
I suppose for the it was kind of was it banned in Ireland? I think it was
This?
for a while. I think it was. I think it was definitely controversial because it was at the tail end of the time when people weren't allowed to dance together.
Yeah, when
talking-
there's teenage
you're
pregnancy in it,
Yeah.
there's loads
Yeah,
of
there's a
stuff
lot
in
of-
it.
You're
Like,
talking excess. I think Rizzo, the character, is the best character.
Stockard Channing,
I don't know.
that's her name.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. The lass that gets pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she takes no shit.
Yeah.
She reminds me of myself.
And then Grease too.
Grease
What?
too.
There's a second. I didn't even know there was a second
Michelle
one.
Pfeiffer.
Next.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Dwayne, you're back.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that choice,
before.
Pete. I like that choice, Pete.
Yeah.
My second film, my third film. Sorry, I'm going to cover because this is a 3-film box. I didn't even know there was 3 of these. Jesus Christ.
That second, third one has nothing to do with it.
I know, but The Grudge, the remake of the original Juon, which was called in the original Japanese. I love the original. I love the atmosphere of the original.
Right.
Technically, I did watch the original after watching The Grudge. The main reason I don't like this is that I feel the remake depends so much on jump scares. Don't like jump scares. When I went to see this in the cinema, I bit the inside of my cheek really bad. And I was eating salty popcorn, so that was no crack. But I don't like jump scares, and I just feel look, it's not a bad movie. But when I watched the original, I really got to hate this because Sarah Michelle. I'm a fan of Sarah. What teenage boy wasn't a fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar? In fairness, but like I was a fan of hers. I was which.
From Scooby-Doo.
From Scooby-Doo. I was a fan of... I like this. Obviously, when I went to see it, I did like it, but I found it when I watched it again, it was so Americanized. And still trying to stay in the Japanese kind of, surroundings. She was over in Japan being a social worker and all that.
How does that work?
And so... Well, she was an American that got a job in Japan as a social worker.
Can she speak Japanese?
She can actually.
Oh, impressive.
I
did see it.
And then Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, was her boss in it. So it was just like, it was literally like, but it was still so kind of American.
Yeah.
Whilst the original was nearly, as we were talking about before, about folk horrors in the first video, Martin. The original was almost a folk horror with the kind of mythological of the Grudge being the curse that
Japanese folk tale. That Grudge.
So I really enjoyed the original, and then when I watched the original, I just came to hate this because the girl in it, the evil spirit, she just looks like she has a disease in this, just with the color of her face. But in the original, she looks
dead.
Obviously she looks dead, but she looks still alive enough to be kind. There's something creepier about it. She just looks faker in this.
And is The Grudge the name of the girl?
No.
Her name isn't The Grudge. I don't know what her name is.
I don't know.
And what is The Grudge? Like
the Grudge. Have you ever seen it? Have you?
I've seen the film, but why is it called The Grudge?
The Grudge is basically it's like a curse. If someone dies in the house,
someone dies in a violent situation, that it leaves behind a grudge or a curse.
Yeah, then it has a grudge against whoever's coming in.
Whoever comes into that house, they'll fuck them up.
And the original just was so atmospheric, and when I watched that, I just thought this. It takes a shit all over this.
I also seen that in the cinema.
The original?
No, the Sarah Michelle Gellar one.
Yeah.
And it was really jumpy. I remember at the time thinking I remember like it was scary. And then I got it back and watched it on DVD, and it just wasn't. So it leaned a lot on
definitely on seeing it in the cinema, and of course being like I'm a lot younger than you.
2004 that came out.
Yeah, I was.
How old are you?
15. How old am I? 21. I'm 37 years old.
Oh.
But no, I thought when I seen the original, I just thought it was so atmospheric and just a better movie.
Okay.
Of course, it's subtitled and all that, but I just think even like the atmosphere is just way better, and I liked it. Enjoyed it. What do you think, Martin?
Being into horror, I prefer the original. I prefer the original of all Japanese horror movies.
Yeah.
Korean, Japanese, whichever ones we're talking about. I didn't think it's too bad, but as I say, if you rewatch it again, it is pretty piss poor compared to the original. But this came at a time when all the Japanese horrors were being remade, and they still are. Like they're still doing loads of them as well. Like she had The Ring with Naomi Watts, which wasn't too bad.
And the original was
actually
called
not too bad.
Ringu.
There you go. Dark Water.
I've never seen Dark Water.
The original Dark Water.
Is that a Japanese one as well?
Yeah, and it was done then with Jennifer Connelly, who we were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah.
And it's actually not too bad. John C. Reilly's in it as well, from Step Brothers, believe it or not. He's our landlord or something like that.
What film is this?
In Dark Water.
Never seen
It's another Japanese one that was redone again, but there was loads of them at the height of this.
It there was a boom of them, wasn't it?
Well, that's what we were saying. We're talking about maybe horror movie booms.
Yeah.
You had your boom of your Blair Witches, your paranormal found footage stuff. You had your Japanese stuff. Then you had your
I will say that I thought that I think it's because I thought the remake of The Ring with Naomi Watts. I did think that was a decent.
It's
movie.
decent. Yeah, it is actually very good. I watched it recently.
It's good. It's a good one.
But yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you think of The Grudge? Now.
Put that there.
I have a couple of more movies now. I've got two horrors and I've got another classic movie from 1968. But I'm going to go back to horror again, and I'm going to whine again about found footage movies. But not paranoia, but yeah, paranoia, if you will, about these movies. Like people would shitting themselves. Don't watch that. It's just too much. You can't do it. And I just think they're a load of piss. Back to found footage again, and these are the worst of them.
Yeah.
Like Blair Witch is Oscar winning compared to this shit. I've got the first 3 here. 2 of them are still sealed, so I'm never gonna watch them. Do you want these as well?
Give me this,
But
this one.
That's your favourite one, is
You
it?
see,
Is that one where the bedside locker moves?
No, this one is actually good.
Good for what?
Have you watched it?
I've seen it. I've seen them all.
Third one.
I've seen
This
the
one-
5 or 6
Well,
of them.
we'll introduce the film.
But anyhow, what we're talking about is what I'm talking about is Paranormal Activity. You'll be sleeping with the lights on. I doubt it very much. I'll just be sleeping. This is Bull Fest. They should have called this Bull Fest.
Man, he's
Like anybody that will sit through a half an hour of fucking security camera footage, waiting for something to happen, and then a door creaks, and then you wait another 15 minutes for them to go. Do you know something? The door's after creaking. It's fucking ridiculous.
Stop getting so angry, man.
I'm not angry.
Calm down. It's gonna take
One
a
of the
minute.
scariest
Calm down.
viewing experiences ever. Like, who come up with this shit?
I quite like this.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a little bit kind of,
I said earlier, I don't mind slow burner movies, but this is not even lit.
but it feels.
That's how slow
Oh man,
it
he's
is.
full of them.
I'm full of it
He's
today,
full of it
man.
today, isn't he?
But come on, can you sit there for 20 minutes waiting for something to happen, and
But-
then you're trying to convince yourself that you've seen the door
No,
creak?
but,
the
no,
wheel
but
move,
this is a hypothetical. You're talking about the person who's reviewing the footage. You're not waiting 20 minutes in the film for the door to move, are you?
Oh, you are.
No, you're not.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
there's
not 20
there
it's
is
just
big
nothing for 20
there's
minutes.
big gaps in this. Where
Yeah, there
there's
might be-
nothing happen.
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
minutes might be an exaggeration, but you know where I'm coming from.
I will
I
say
mean-
this about the Paranormal Activity movies, and I will say kind of fairly shite. Dung, second one. The third one though,
Why is it better?
well, because
What's different about it?
I just think it's actually quite a creepy movie. I think the third one is creepy because, not to spoil it, but even at the end, and there's a cult element in it. Maybe that's what drags me in. But it kind of explained it. You could watch the third one without watching the first 2 and still be creeped out because it
Yeah.
goes back into the history of the girl that's in the
Yeah.
first one, and there's a cult element, and it just goes into a lot of the lore of what the demon is and all that.
yeah.
And I do like it, but it once again found footage. But I would say this is actually good, which is so rare in a movie franchise. But I like this one, but I know I'd cast the other 2 out.
I know what
you
you're saying, Matt. Like I have seen the first 3, and I can't. Like it's hard for me to differentiate the memories of each film, and there is an element of kind of like horror film / you've been framed.
Yeah.
Kind of with
Yeah.
these films. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Jeremy
I-
Beadle
Jeremy
had been
Beadle-
in it would
yeah.
be all right. Like Jeremy Beadle.
Watch out, Beatles about.
I get it, but I think that kind of mundane kind of aspect makes it feel like it could be.
Could be gonna happen or really happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't. But I think this is same time, boom time.
Boomtown.
Like they could sell any of this shit back then. Do you know what I mean? At that stage, anybody would have watched any found footage and found it scary. I mean, if you're a real horror fan, you will not find it scary.
I found
There's nothing to it.
The characters in that very frustrating. I found like she was obviously having serious problems with like shit moving and being almost being possessed. And,
Are the
and-
actual actors
and,
like?
and her probably not, and her photo up in the attic. It's in the attic, but then he was just like, let's just video it, babe. You know what I mean? He's just being an arsehole.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of males are arseholes. Let's face it. But he's an arsehole in this.
I can't even remember him. I just remember the door creaking and
I
that
can't
was it.
remember much of it.
Yeah, but
It
sorry
seems
if anybody
it seems
likes
I remember more
anybody
of
likes
this.
the found footage stuff. It's just not for me. Go and watch Wreck. It's the only thing decent because it keeps you going and it's in your face and it's bouncing. Sitting through trolls, you might as well be a security guard watching hours and hours of footage, waiting for something to happen and hoping something happens.
Bouncing in your face.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
The house had went on fire in the first 50 minutes, killed them all.
It
Brilliant.
did, but it went on fire in it.
I know, but killed everybody. Like great,
Okay.
happy days. Sorry. About
Next.
that. Rant.
So from one horror film
No.
to another horror film,
What's this? I don't know Pete's pitch.
I think this is a spoiler. I picked this.
on your wanking
like
on
it is. I think it is a rubbish film. It is a rubbish film. But I picked this especially because Martin has a tattoo of the main character in this film.
Like Portnoy.
And do they know that your nickname or
I don't know.
Well, go and tell them.
do you wanna?
Chucky.
Yeah.
Go on, tell them.
No, you tell them. It's not my.
His nickname was Chucky.
And still is by some people. Not
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah. I get him
lot
to
of
sit on my
people.
knee and I shove my hand up his arse and I work his mouth. But that's
That's not how Chucky works.
Yeah,
isn't it? He's not ventriloquist dummy.
No,
isn't it?
that's the character called Unlucky.
Unlucky Chucky.
Okay, so it's Child's Play.
Okay.
I think this film, like, especially growing up in England, I'm not sure if it was banned here for a while, but in England it was banned, and I was expecting
Why
this
was it banned?
Was
because of a child
Was.
murder in
Jamie Bulger murder in UK? It got banned because of
Okay.
that.
Why? Because he was killed by dolls. I'm not trying to belittle.
No,
sharing
but
it,
it's just a kid with a fucking knife.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Basically, I know he's a doll, but he
It was a
still
bit
looks
close
like
to the
he's a kid.
bone. I think the child's being chased around in this, so.
I suppose. Okay.
But also, I just think the film is rubbish. Like, and people really seem to rate this, and it has like 600 movies, spin-offs, and TV shows, and you can't go to
It's about
like
9.
any kind of geek store and
Not
it's
see
packed
Chucky.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Am I off base?
I like Child's Play.
Right.
I think it's a good movie. But I was never, I suppose, as someone who was never afraid of porcelain dolls, freak me out.
Right.
You know the old-fashioned
Why?
porcelain dolls, because they just look like they're about to eat your soul. But Chucky is not a scary looking doll, even when he's half melted.
No,
He's not a scary looking
He
doll.
looks more like he'd touch you than he would
Yeah.
hurt you. I tell you,
Child's Play.
Child's Play.
I tell you what. Like watching this film, I had to rewatch this one again because I didn't want Martin to kick me out of his house.
Okay.
But the score in the background of the film is so obnoxiously loud all the way through, and I think it must be because he is so
Scary.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not a scary doll.
So if you watch it again, like the backing score is just really loud, and there's parts that are not supposed to be scary, and
Yeah.
it's just suspenseful music all the way through.
Yeah. Like, essentially something you could take care of with a hot poker, like being that scary.
It's not even that. Like all you'd need, you know, like when you get like a toy and it's got that metal twisty stuff that goes around the feet and stuff.
Yeah.
Just put that on him, and that'd be the end. That'd
Why
just
are
be the end
you
of it,
really
yeah.
Over it, yeah.
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 Yeah, like dolls aren't scary except porcelain dolls.
I don't get the point. Is it because of the kind of scrapey?
They're a bit
nail
more
thing?
lifelike
no,
looking.
they're not lifelike. They just look great. They look.
I think that's one of those things that people say they're scared of because other people have, and
No,
there's
no,
no real.
I'm afraid of porcelain dolls, but like I'm not afraid of puppets.
Yeah.
I don't mind
I'm
puppets.
afraid no man.
Yeah.
don't
So,
like-
like everyone seems to be scared of clowns.
I'm not afraid of clowns.
Oh yeah, prove it.
Like
Good start a fight with clown.
yeah, fine. Yeah, definitely.
Is there
Start
any
a fight with you. Sorry, it took a while.
Is yeah, it's really late. Is there any better films in the series that I should go to, or is this the best of?
How many
the
is there?
offerings?
Come on, Chucky. You
There's,
should
a,
fucking.
there's about, including the latest Child's Play one, where it's completely different storyline. It is a doll, but there's no voodoo or anything in it. It's
So it's just a doll.
yeah, I mean, it's a guy who
doesn't
gets
move.
fucked up in a factory, but no, for me the original one is still the best of them. I mean, there's some really bad ones. Seed of Chucky is pure dog shit. Bride of Chucky isn't better. But for me, they're just fun horror movies.
I really want to like it as well,
Yeah.
but I just don't
That's
like
the hard
it.
thing.
But-
Like, you hate it, but you
You
want
have
to
to
like
take it for what it is. It's just a fucking possessed doll killing people, and it's spawned a massive franchise. Like Chucky's up there with the other guys now. He is.
I would.
I
Not,
never
I would
thought he
not
was.
place him
No,
up.
I
I would
would
not
still
place
put
him
him
up.
there.
With,
No,
I wouldn't place him up.
Maybe
with,
not for scare wise.
like if I had to survive one, like if it's right, there's Jason or there's Freddy.
Yeah.
It's like I'll take Chucky. Like.
Thing about it is, if Jason, Freddy, and Mike Myers and all were in the fucking room and Chucky walked in, they'd be just like,
Just sit on the table.
they'd just be
stand on the table,
They'd be
lad.
just like, they'd be like, no one wants to talk to me. You
who
know,
brought the toy?
yeah, Jesus, Chucky.
But
yeah.
I like Chucky.
Okay, fair.
I'm a horror fan. I'm gonna like Chucky straight away.
Just because he looks like
Got a
you.
bastard tattoo over.
Yeah.
Next.
Next, how are we
Back to
doing
me.
anyway?
Back to me,
Well,
is
many
it?
more left. All right,
Two
two left
left.
each, so we're not too
Well,
bad.
good, because I need to poo. My I'll go home for it though. Don't worry. My next movie that I don't like is Leon the Professional.
Oh,
Now this movie, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, because I understand why people like it, but there's,
don't break it, please.
I'm not breaking it. I'm just putting it in properly because it wasn't in properly.
I've noticed you have to keep looking at the DVDs. So you'll open the cases and have a little look.
Yeah, well, that's because he done it the last time.
Yeah.
He used to show it off.
Learning from
Back to Leon.
learning from the master. Leon the Professional. We watched this movie in movie club, and I was expecting. There's some really good characters in it. I think what's his name?
Leon.
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is a great. He's a really good villain in it. The thing that I can't get my head around. There's movies out there that unintentionally sexualize children. Right. And there's movies out there that intentionally do it. And this movie intentionally sexualizes Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
There's a scene in it that she comes on to Leon in it. And it really freaked me out. And when I looked up why the fuck that happened, the director said, well, we thought it was funny because the age of consent in France at the time was 12. So that just kind of really weirded me out. And I find actually her character, even though she's a great...
Scarier than Chucky.
Fucking terrifying. Her characters, I found it quite irritating. I found her character quite irritating, but I just could not, I couldn't, that scene really freaked me out, and I don't like it. And I think it would have been a good movie if, because let's face it, I'm not going to lie, call a spade, she was sexualized from this movie.
Yeah.
And I just...
We had that discussion in movie club.
Yeah, and I just couldn't get... I can't.
And was it essential? Like, was it...
It was not an essential part of this movie. Like, she could have been like a little kick-ass kid that needed help, and Leon would have been there to just save the day.
Yeah.
It was not essential to have her as this kind of character, because she could have still been kind of kick-ass, feisty, but... and vulnerable as well, and Leon could have been a father figure, but it was definitely didn't feel like that.
But he wasn't reciprocating, though, was he?
Wasn't.
No. But it was still, it was just weird.
Well, can I counter your bad part with what I think is a good part?
Well, first of all, before you said it, I do love Gary Oldman in it. I think he's one of the great villain. But go on,
I think he might be a bit overrated in that role.
Who?
Gary Oldman, because
really?
So they always point to that. Yeah, I think he's good.
Yeah, he is a very similar role to that in True Romance, because he was a bit like fucking crazy in that as well. Like,
mixing that up as well.
I think the real plus for that film is I would say the role of the plant in that film.
The plant
kind of borders on a credit. Do you know what I mean? And I like the Karate Kid.
I know you like plants.
Yeah, so that feels like a win. It should have been on the poster.
Yeah, the plant isn't on the poster. The plant's there, man.
Yeah.
Got in the back of the box.
What do you think,
I like Jean Reno, and I think Jean Reno is a good actor. I think he's very... Did I say that right? Jean Reno. I like him in the movie. I know it has that weird element that we were talking about. But I always liked that movie, and I watched it. I remember watching it for the first time. I watched it a couple of times without even picking up on that Natalie Portman thing.
I know what you mean. Like, it is weird, but I think because it's coming from her to him, and she's trying to be older.
Yeah. If it had been him coming on to her, you wouldn't have watched the fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? But
I just find it
I can see why you don't like it. I think.
But now since movie club, I dodged that movie now, and I've always liked that movie. But
are you frightened of people?
No, but it's just. You've got me thinking about that whole time now.
Sorry,
it's sort of messed up that movie.
Maybe I don't know. I cannot get around that.
No, it's there now. So
and that tension between them.
I like Luc Besson. He's a great director. So yeah.
Well, he fucking thinks that's funny.
Might as well sell that now. Can't watch it again.
Yeah. I'm not taking it.
Okay, back to me. I've got 2 movies left. One is horror, but I've done a couple of horrors, so I'm going to leave that last. This was a struggle for me to get 4 movies. One reason is because I don't usually keep movies that I don't like. But at the same time, I find it very hard to dislike a movie enough to put it on something like a list on this, because I always find something good in the movie. Do you know, whether it's action scenes or, you know what I mean, something. I always find something good in the movie, because someone made the movie. Like, it can't be that bloody bad. But some films can be.
What's your good thing in Paranormal Activity?
No, that didn't. That's why it's on the list.
Oh, not even one good thing.
No.
Why is this on the list?
Okay.
No, not one good thing. The blue box on the Blu-ray. Okay, so I'm going to pick a classic movie. Okay. Now, this is by one of the, we'll not say the biggest directors ever, but he is. He has been. He
was fairly weighty.
He was fairly well known. He's done some classic movies. Full Metal Jacket. Absolutely adore that movie. It's fantastic. The Shining. Probably my second favourite movie. Yeah. You know what we were talking about. The Shining is my second favourite movie of all time. Not one of his finest moments either. Probably a lot of people
But still,
don't like it.
Shining.
Yeah, a lot of people don't
Well,
like
you
it
see,
because of the difference in the book and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a
Stephen
great
King.
movie.
But
Yeah.
it's a fantastic movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah.
It's creepy as hell. It's brilliant. Barry Lyndon.
Yeah, it's good
Stay
film.
away from
Long
that
film.
shit too.
You don't like Barry Lyndon?
Not really.
I watched bits of it. I like
But yeah.
Barry Lyndon.
So Stanley Kubrick, he's done some great movies, but this one for me, 1968, and I'm going to show you the soundtrack because I don't have the movie. I actually had it twice on 4K Blu-ray,
What?
but I got rid of it.
What, the clap?
I thought I'm going to need this for the Kubrick collection, but I keep getting rid of it every time I buy it because I know I'm not going to watch it again.
Huh.
So it's 1968 to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, classic movie in many people's eyes, but for me, it's 2.5 hours long, 2 hours 28 minutes long. It's probably 2 hours and 15 minutes too long.
Too long. Yeah.
It feels longer than 2.5 hours.
It feels longer than 2.5 hours. Like the opening scene with the apes and stuff, Primitive Man, it's fine. But after that, it just goes into a bore fest of,
Yeah.
a ship, and it's just boring. The music's great, and
Yeah.
the Blue Danube and all that. It's got some really lovely music in it. Lovely
Lovely
music.
music.
But the movie itself, there is no rewatchability in this, unless you're a big movie buff who's into all the technical side of things. But for anybody, you couldn't recommend this to anybody, just a casual movie watcher, because they'll hate you for life after it, because it is just a bore fest.
It's an acquired taste, isn't it?
Big time.
I tried watching this movie before and I couldn't get through it. I just it's too like that. Probably after the first half hour, I was like,
yeah. I've sat through it a few times because I said I need to watch this. I mean, you can't call yourself a movie fan without liking this movie.
Yeah.
But I can, because this is not a good movie.
I'll let you look.
No, I get it. Like, it's not a popcorn muncher.
No, it's
Like, I totally appreciate it
Yeah.
for what it is, but it is the opposite. If John Wick is too fast all the time, this is
this is not furious. Yeah.
But it is like a huge leap. Like, a lot of the moon landing conspiracies think Kubrick filmed the moon landing based off
Really?
of this, because it was so far ahead of its time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, it does look visually fine, but I mean it's just too long and
It's
boring.
visually fine.
It's visually fine. I love that review.
Fine. That's the proper way.
So did we go to the moon, or did Kubrick do it, Martin?
Yeah, I think we went to the moon.
Yeah, I think we went to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't go. But,
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you
It's
think?
Chinese.
I think we went to the moon. But
Yeah.
I was hoping there'd be a
But
little
yeah,
bit of
this
Fight.
is.
street beef about it.
I don't mind slow boring movies, but this is just the only place for this is on in a funeral home or something in the background on a wall.
No, I wouldn't
Jesus,
go
no,
that
man.
far.
No,
Like, it's
no,
just-
no.
'Cause it's
No,
just-
it'll just make a funeral depressing. I mean, not the funerals aren't
But
depressing,
yeah,
but like,
let us know what you think of 2001. Because can't handle it, man.
Well, again, the film I have picked kind of connects to this a bit. Like, I don't think this film.
2002.
Yeah, it's first.
is there another? Is there?
No.
It's not as
What is it?
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, it connects to this kind of. So, like, I don't think this is as bad as what Martin says. And the kind of the film I have picked is Arrival by Denis Villeneuve. I know that because I looked at my phone
That is Villeneuve.
about 5 minutes before we started this, so I might have said it
I
wrong.
don't know this movie. You're gonna have to. Where's the
Arrival. We don't have
Yeah.
it. I had it as sold because
What's it about?
It's a contact movie.
Oh,
So,
I think I know the one you're talking.
Yeah.
Nothing kind of happens. In
so
it.
that film.
Yeah.
And I
I
don't
know the
dislike it because of that reason.
yeah,
Who's in it again?
I just think
Amy Adams,
you have your
Jeremy
guy.
Renner.
Was he like in a war film?
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, he has
He
like
was
a kind
Hawkeye
of.
in the Avengers.
Yeah, he had an
Yeah.
accident recently,
Oh,
but he's back in top form.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he got
glad
run
he's
over by a
back in
snowmobile
biz.
or something.
His own snowmobile. He got out to move
Oh.
something on the road. It's not funny.
Yeah, he was got a bad
It's
day.
not funny.
okay.
Crushed-
So anyway, I
crushed like
I
ice.
think the film is fine, but it's another one of those films that everybody's like, "You're gonna love this. You have to watch
Is
this."
this the one when it's up in the sky and they go up to...
Yeah.
I know the one. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
same.
don't like it.
But you're the first person that has
No, I just don't like
kind
it.
of echoed this opinion. Yeah, it's not. I don't like it. It's just really disappointing,
Yeah.
and it kind of sets things up nicely. It has a little bit the Independence Day thing where you have kind of just gravity-defying ships
Yeah.
that are kind of strategically or not strategically actually placed around the world.
Yeah.
And I think they say the explanation of that is they're put there because they have less chance of being struck by lightning in these spots. So you have these spacefarer motherfuckers that come from like just stupefyingly kind of far distances.
Spacefaring motherfuckers.
And they come to Earth and they're worried about lightning. So that's annoying for me. And they're defying gravity in the atmosphere. They're emitting no kind of electricity or radio signals or any detectable energy source.
Yeah.
And all this stuff's going on. So that's not even the part that annoys me. It's just, it's a real kind of slow, nothing...
is this the one when they're like on the ship? It's like they're behind a glass wall.
Yeah.
And they're shooting language up.
Yeah.
And the language is like mist. It looks like
a
jizz.
terrible iPad.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like jizz in the bath.
Yeah.
Where
This
it
is
just
one of
kinda
those
floats
things.
around.
I've never jizzed in a bath.
Yeah. Back to the movie.
If you jizzed in the bath. Yeah. How do you know it looks like it then?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Like clouds.
Anyway. Does it cook? is it like poached egg? Anyway.
Yeah.
So this part really flipping annoys me as well. So you have again these spacefaring lads come countless flipping miles.
Lads.
They get all the way here and they can't communicate with us.
And then all of a sudden,
and then it's humans. It's like, oh, we'll work on this. And you have this really smart kind of lecturer woman, and like kudos, well done. But she's like working it out. And she's drawing this picture. She's sticking these things up on a wall, and then she works out this fucking totally unintelligible script.
yeah.
And then she starts communicating with them. And like, if she hadn't have done that, they would have done all this travel, and they wouldn't have been able to contact.
Buggered off.
Start flipping, like World War, because this, and
Just
it's fine. And then there's the circular communication, and it's okay, but it's just nowhere near as good. It's another film I really want to love.
When I watched this, I didn't want to love it. I thought it was too much. It was a bit like, it reminded me of how Inception made me feel.
Yeah, it's
It
another
made me
film.
kind of go,
Yeah.
like that kind of way. You know, you kind of go, what?
And it had all the old tropes again, so it's like,
Yeah.
well, we can't trust China. China's going like totally against
And it was a bit like
any kind of sense. Like
it was a bit like America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, these
kind of
space
thing.
people. But actually, there is one part in it, like the people that lose their head and kind of go first. Not really a spoiler because nothing
one's
really,
gonna watch it.
nothing really happens in the film. I don't think. Is that America kind of do the slightly aggressive thing in it? Yeah.
What happens at you can't
Without
spoil
spoiling
it.
it.
Can't spoil it.
You see, but I can't even remember what happens at the end of that movie.
I said that to you today.
Yeah, it's actually more about kind of
Language.
the way we perceive time and time travel than it is.
Oh,
aliens.
it is, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
the alien, yeah.
Like, I watched
And then
it.
is arrival the ships, or is it arrival of? Is it the baby that's coming? Who knows?
That's what happens as well. You have to spoil it.
Yeah.
Or is it the
No,
arrival?
there's no the story is happening almost like Memento. Like you can watch it again. That's one good thing. But would you want to watch it again?
Yeah.
No, some people
Is
do.
it the arrival of language?
Yeah, it's the arrival of thing, and that monolith. Going back to
Oh yeah.
this
there is
motherfucker. Sorry for creasing your record, Marty.
Okay.
Sorry
It's
for
like the monolith again. So you have the monoliths in this,
Mm.
and they kind of represent like a technological leap forward. So you
They're
have
floating off the ground. Weren't
you
they?
have the hairy lads at the start. They find the
I'm
monolith and they
fucking
zip
tripping
forward.
here. What are you doing?
And then you have
Is this in
then
in
you have
Arrival?
then you have
No,
the shaved
but-
lads that go to the moon. They find another monolith, and then there's a zip forward again, and then he's in his bed at the end.
Is this you're talking about?
Yeah, but the
But Arrival is.
arrival, that kind of language is one of those kind of
I get you.
technological leaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrival, I watched it and then it was kind of flat for me. And I said, I'm never going to need to watch this again.
Yeah.
So I just got rid. You know what I mean? If I'd never seen the film again, who cares? Like, you know, because there was nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing memorable from it.
As I
people
said
talk-
when I watched it, I was like,
yeah, and
Oh,
people
yeah,
talk
it
about
was-
it like
yeah.
it's not terrible. It's not a terrible film.
Yeah, yeah.
I go as far to say that it's just kind of like pointless. And not to diss it or anything.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Inception, you just kind of go, what?
See, I think they've tried to make it so poignant that they lose a film in doing this thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good choice.
Agree with
Next,
Yeah, Dwayne, your
Now,
last movie.
My last movie. Now, I really do not like the movie The Social Network. I think it is just. I was never. Sorry, Martin, I elbowed the fuck out of you there. It was just that. I'm only joking. I'm not a. Now, this is totally a personal thing. I do not think by any means it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
But I am not a fan of movies that just. Movies like this, movies like The Wolf of Wall Street, movies that like have that really kind of power and greed and all that kind
You
of
wouldn't
thing.
give them a like.
I'm just not a fan of movies. Personally, I'm not a fan of movies like that. And I found this to be one of the most boring. Once again, a movie that I probably tried to watch and probably watched in drips and drabs over the years. Now, the soundtrack, love the soundtrack. Big fan of Trent Reznor. I think the soundtrack is, if you like ambient music, fantastic soundtrack. I love ambient music. So, but I just think, and your man, what's his name, who plays
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg, I think he probably takes off Mark Zuckerberg really well. I think he Mark Zuckerberg is a lifeless corpse. I'm not a huge, not that I wouldn't be a huge fan of Mark Zuckerberg. I do use Facebook, but at me, mind joking. But I think like what you were saying about what's the overrated movie you were talking about?
Arrival.
Arrival, but you were talking about Chucky being overrated and a lot of. I think
everyone talks about this. Like
I think everyone talks about this movie like it's just the movie to end all movies.
Well, the Rolling Stone calls it an American landmark. 5 stars. No, 4 stars.
Yeah. Oh, 4 stars.
Inspiring.
One of the truly defining films of its era. Inspiring, smart, exciting, and thought-provoking. That last comment there, smart, exciting, and thought-provoking, it is none of those things. Smart maybe only because it's about the people that invented the internet.
Yeah.
Thought-provoking, anything about social media, there's nothing thought-provoking about social media, and exciting. So I do not like this movie just because it kind of just frustrated me. It reminds, I suppose, on a personal level, it reminds me of everything wrong.
Reminds you of Bieber.
It reminds Bebo.
Yeah.
Remember Bebo?
Yeah.
Jesus. It reminds me of. I suppose it reminds me personally of everything kind of wrong with society. About people worrying about shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
That's what I get with movies
But
like this.
this kind of movie was never going to be a flop.
Do you know-
Because it's something that's topical and something
Yeah.
everybody uses.
Yeah.
People always want to know what there's a lot of these kind of biopic-y movies around.
I think it could have been a flop.
You think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because remember
good.
But do you
the...
not think it was done well enough then that it wasn't?
No, I think it was. I think it was done well
Do
enough.
you like this movie?
I think it's a
David
decent film,
Fincher,
yeah.
good director, like so.
Do you remember Ashton Kutcher did the Steve Jobs film, which is a similar kind of...
Yeah.
And that was a flop. Just,
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Michael Keaton did the McDonald's one. That was good.
Oh, never heard of it.
Did he?
Did you know?
McDonald's is in...
As
The chips.
The farm or the restaurant?
the golden
Oh, yeah.
arches.
Yeah.
Oh,
restaurant.
There's loads of biopic movies out.
Yeah.
I can't remember this that well. I know what it's about. I've seen it once.
the Facebook one.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And the fallout between the guys that did it.
Yeah.
and
Look,
thing,
I suppose there's yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I was just going to say, I seen it once. I can't remember it enough and I don't know I didn't dislike it. I watched through and I thought, yeah, what it is. But if I watched it again and really thought about it, maybe.
Do you know what I think a big part of this, the success was this? 'Cause I remember watching this and thinking, like, how the fuck can you watch a film about Facebook?
Yeah.
And it's bound to be shite. And then I watched it and thought, that really wasn't shite. Like,
Yeah,
there was...
Andrew Garfield's in that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
And the little boy that was in Jurassic Park is in it
who's
too.
the other
he's
Facebook
one
guys?
is he one of the kind of co-creators? He's not the two lads at the start.
No, but the
Yeah.
Jurassic Park
See, I
boy.
might read it.
You know the little boy that's in Jurassic Park?
Is he little boy? Is he just the
No,
big
he
boy with
was
little arms?
a little boy in Jurassic Park. He's a
Aaron
grown-up boy now.
Sorkin, is it?
No, he's
And it had JT as well, didn't it? For
Jay-Z.
no JT, just Timberlake. He was
Just
the
Timberlake.
Napster guy.
Oh, Army Hammer's in it. Maybe that's why I don't like it. He's fucking cannibal.
Army Hammer.
Arnie Hammer, Lone
Oh.
Ranger.
Andrew Garfield, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, anyway, we're not going to read the box on the video.
Yeah.
But I can't really see why you have it there because I can't remember the movie. Simple as.
It was everywhere, and everyone was talking about like it was
Yeah.
the best thing.
I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my simple-minded tree-hugging fucking mind, but I
No.
just couldn't get into it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
fair.
Okay. Gonna do this quickly because as I said, I struggled to get 5 movies. I really struggled, so I picked this horror movie. Now it's recent enough; it could be 2 or 3 years old at this stage. There is a sequel out. I hate this fucking movie so much I won't even go to watch the sequel, which is not like me for a horror movie. I usually give everything a chance, but I picked this one here. This was huge. The what do you call it? The tagline for the movie is "Once you see it, it's too late." And I feel like that. You know what?
Nice. How long did it take you to write that?
Nothing. I just seen it there, man. I am good at this shit.
Yeah.
But Well, this movie was everywhere. You couldn't turn on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's fucking somebody reviewing it or something, and gotta have to see it. I bought this and sat on it for 9 months.
Jeez.
Not
Oh.
physically,
Were you
but
expecting the chick to come out?
Leanne and Ashley from work were meant to come to watch this 100 times. Couldn't wait for them. But they did eventually call up, and we watched the three of us watched it, and we all hated it. We all thought it was dog
Yeah,
shit
it's-
after the hype.
It's not
And
a good
it's
movie.
just Smile. I
not
know,
a good
okay,
movie.
this might be a kind of a cop-out, just saying, it's Smile, sure, it's a horror, it's not going to be great. But it is absolutely shit.
It's not a good movie.
There is
It is-
nothing utterly terrifying. The only terrifying thing is that I actually spent money on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was wasting money.
And you're from Cavan,
It
so
is
it's a
so
huge
bad.
fucking deal,
People
you know?
are saying the sequel's far better, but
I wouldn't even know.
even
Like
if the
God-
sequel was shit, it'd be still far better.
it's the Godfather of horror
But yeah,
movies
this
to
was
me.
so disappointing for me. I like horror movies, and I don't know, there was no horror in this at all.
No,
like,
did you know as well that that's Kevin Bacon's daughter? That's the lead girl in it.
That's Kevin Bacon's daughter there.
Not her, not
That's a
the
guy, is
lead
it?
girl in it.
Not a guy, that's a girl.
That's a girl. No, it's not her. It's that one.
Is that Kevin Bacon's daughter?
That's Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Is
Yeah.
their second name Bacon as well? Or not?
Yes, Sosie Bacon.
Oh,
Saucy Bacon.
So
The name's Sosie.
Sosie. Saucy?
Swatty.
Saucy Bacon.
Sosie Bacon.
Saucy and
Sausages and bacon.
Saucy and bacon.
I've not seen this.
But do you want to bring it with you and watch
no.
it?
It's not.
I
It's not
don't
great.
like it. I know I could have picked 1,001 horror films that aren't great, but I just picked this one because I remember the hype, and it's just rubbish. It really is rubbish.
It was on telly a couple of weeks ago when I
Mm.
watched it. It was on Film 4, and I watched it expecting. I was expecting good things because
Yeah.
you know when you see the hype of a movie and you go, do you know this
Yeah.
this could be decent.
Yeah.
And once again, like decent premise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Modern movies
Smiling
in
Demon.
general are shit. I know I said it in one of the previous videos, but
it's not a good
the problem
movie.
with marketing on a lot of horror films these days is every film is the scariest movie of the year. They're obviously they're going to do that. You have to
Yeah.
watch it and everything. Big failure. Big load of shit.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Martin.
Yeah,
It's,
I really
it's not a
don't
good
like
movie.
them.
It's only really horrors and comedies that do that, isn't it? As well, do like it's like the funniest film
Funniest
you'll
film,
see.
yeah, yeah.
You don't really get
You don't
that.
really get like
The saddest film you're
yeah,
gonna see.
yeah. You're gonna cry all year or
Yeah.
something like you know.
No, I don't think there was a kind of this is the most kind of
No.
There was so much hype about that fucking film.
Yeah, but well, anything that's released gets a bit of hype. But
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smile.
Right. I'm gonna get some shite for this one.
Peter's got the last movie. He's be glad to hear. It's probably 4 hours long.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some heat, but like
Is it
bear
heat?
with me,
Oh, yeah.
especially for
Save
a
the
channel
best for
for
last.
metal guys.
Go on.
The Lord of the Rings films.
Oh, ooh, I get it.
Yeah, I think
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the TV.
the acting, like really hammy. Like bear in mind, I'm not saying the
Hammy.
story. Like you couldn't mess that up because it is what it is, but. I wish it was made now.
You look
with-
like you're just
Yeah,
bearing your son.
yeah.
You're like,
I wish it was made now with better actors.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of it is awful, and I think the pacing is awful. And I'm going across the whole set of films.
Yeah.
I think it ends for like 3 hours. And
You're right.
during
yeah.
like the first film, it gets to, do you know, like the kind of elf city they go to?
Elf City.
After Frodo gets bitten by a bad guy with a sword.
I haven't seen this
Like,
version.
no, but it gets there, it's like, fuck, this is,
Yeah.
like, we're only here.
Yeah.
Like every time I rewatch through, and I don't dislike them, I just think the way people talk about them is almost religious. Like these three films.
This is another movie I can't. The first one I cannot watch it without falling asleep.
Yeah, it's too much. I feel like I need a night in the Prancing Pony, whatever it's called, by the time we get there. Do you know what I mean?
The pants and pony.
Yeah.
I love the books. I love Lord of the Rings. It's really cool to have a visually visual version of the books because I'm a big fan of them. But I cannot watch the first movie without falling asleep. I just can't.
Yeah.
And I always wake up at the part when the orcs are running down the hill after what's his name, Sean Bean.
Boromir.
Yeah, Sean Bean. It's just
I
Sean
like
Bean.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Scene Bean, yeah.
it's which
Scene Bean.
Scene Bean.
That
Scene
He actually
Bean.
lasted a while.
But I always wake up at that part. I'm just like, oh, we're here, right? And then yeah, I get it.
but
I get
there's
it.
so many characters in this that I think
Yeah.
are just
But-
awfully cast.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Who's
like,
like which character do you hate the most?
I could have a top 5, I think.
Go on.
Go on, top 5.
Legolas. I think he's awful.
Yeah,
He's a bad actor.
He's a bit of a
terrible.
psychopath.
He's
isn't he?
always
It's probably the
kind
best
of-
thing he's done.
He
Though.
always looks confused.
He's
Like,
a bit
always.
of a psychopath, isn't he?
I think
You can't help him, Bev.
there is great casting.
Did you hear that?
What did he say?
You can't help him, Elf.
You can't help him. I can't do it.
I think Frodo.
Yeah, Frodo wasn't a good.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood was not a good pick for.
And as much as I like Sean Astin, it's just too hammed.
Oh, he's just he's a bollocks.
Otherwise,
I would swap.
Samwise.
I would swap all of the Hobbits
Yeah.
for other people.
They're kind of doses, aren't they?
taller ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for taller ones. Listen, you're going to get yourself a name.
Yeah.
Pick anybody.
And it is I think your man from The Office, that was the guy.
What?
Joe, the guy that plays.
Oh, in the UK office,
Yeah,
that plays Frodo Baggins in The Hobbit.
not Frodo Baggins. He plays.
Oh,
Bilbo.
Bilbo Baggins. What's his name?
Martin Freeman.
Martin
Martin
Freeman.
Freeman.
I think he
Morgan
was-
Freeman.
I would Morgan Freeman. I would prefer to see Martin Freeman as Bilbo in this.
Yeah.
I think he'd have been better.
Yeah.
But
Oh
for-
yeah.
but for
he-
the- oh, you mean
As
okay,
Bilbo
I was just gonna
instead
say
of
the
Elijah
timeline
Wood.
would be a bit
Yeah.
weird.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I think
yeah.
that-
I don't think he should be both.
Yeah.
But I think this would have been.
I think the
better.
hobbits in the Lord of the Rings movies are just whinging little fuckers. Really, they're just whingers.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're small, and I know he gets bitten by the sword that time, but like he's like,
Sting.
and it's all this slow motion shit, and it's like
You'd like to see Sting in it.
No, Sting's the name of the sword.
stinging the police.
Oh
like.
yeah. I said yeah.
Well,
like,
the
I
wrestler,
think,
like
No,
the
he doesn't
wrestler.
get he doesn't get bitten by Sting. He gets bitten by one of the.
He didn't get bitten by
yeah.
his sword. How do you get bitten by his sword? Ow! Fuck.
Who else is terrible in this?
I like. Well, I'm just going to jump in. I love the movie. I love the books. I thought the movie was done. I thought Peter Jackson done an amazing fucking job.
Yeah.
It's a big cast. It's a lot of characters in the book. I mean, what do you want? Everybody's only getting a little bit of stage screen time. A lot of the characters as well. It's very hard to put 30 high-profile actors in.
I would go as far as saying I like it,
Yeah.
but
You don't
people talk about like it is the best thing that has ever been produced film-wise.
I get you.
I know lots of people like that.
Daniel.
Yeah, and I know lots of other people.
Daniel
like
likes Hallmark movies.
that. Does he?
Yeah.
Christ.
Daniel.
I wonder he hasn't been at club.
So overrated or not overrated?
I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it justifies being called overrated. I think it's a masterpiece.
I think they're visually.
The first one, okay, it's a long walk. Did you see Clerks 2? This is just fun. Did you see Clerks 2, the movie?
I haven't seen any Clerks.
The guy, the blonde guy in it, I can't remember what he's called, but he was chatting to a customer, and they're in a restaurant, and he says the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy is just about three guys walking. They walked in the first film, walked in the second film, kept walking in the third film, got to a mountain and went like that, and that was the whole series.
But he's essentially
So
right.
it's just a movie about walking.
And yeah.
But it's
Like,
not. There's so much to it. It's brilliant.
I think there is some people cast in kind of like secondary and like tertiary roles that are amazing in this.
Yeah. Sean Bean.
He actually survived longer in that one than any other.
But I
film.
think the main characters, barring who?
I think Viggo Mortensen was brilliant in it.
Yeah.
He
He's
looked the part,
he's
man.
so sexy.
That opening scene
Yeah.
with Strider in the Prancing
Yeah.
Pony, he just
Yeah.
went, yeah, he's the right guy for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
And
the right
Ian
guy.
McKellen was brilliant as Gandalf.
Ian McKellen is
Yeah.
Gandalf. Yeah, fantastic.
Christopher Lee, Saruman.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I do like
I'm
that.
just trying to kick all the best ones because they're gonna love it in a minute. This film.
Who else would have been good?
Yeah, there's
Kate
some,
Blanchett. I don't really like her anyway.
I didn't mind her
I
actually.
like Kate Blanchett, but as yeah.
What about Hugo Weaving as Elrond,
Oh, Mr. Smith.
head of the elves?
Agent
Agent
Smith.
Smith.
He's same character in as Agent Smith, but just
He's
blonde
the
hair.
same character in V for Vendetta, only for he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, but it works for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think even Liv Tyler's
yeah.
thing isn't so bad
That's my impression of Liv Tyler.
because it's a bit otherworldly. Whereas the likes of
No, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not. It's not that.
She's Liv Tyler.
No,
It's not.
Galadriel is Kate
decent
Blanchett.
movie,
Sure.
No, look it up,
decent
man.
trilogy, not the best movies of all time.
I think the Hobbit ones are worse.
the
Oh,
other ones
definitely
are
worse.
brutal.
Definitely worse.
Definitely.
No, I really like that.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it's one of those movies that when it's on I'll kind of watch it, but I still can't watch any one of them when I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And that probably, I mean, okay, I fall asleep a lot. Not that I don't actually fall. I don't fall asleep watching movies, but I will fall asleep watching one of those movies.
And
Yet,
Godfather.
and The Godfather.
And
yet,
Titanic.
Titanic.
Yeah.
Yet, I like Lord of the Rings. I like the lore. I like the
Yeah.
story, and it's cool to have a decent visualization
Yeah.
of the world
Yeah.
of Lord of the Rings.
Well, it couldn't be rubbish because it never could be unless they really kind of butchered the film. Like the source material is so good.
Yeah.
But it's like people talk about it, like it is almost religious.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I once again, as we said when we were friends before this video started. I get it. With movies like that, I understand. Obviously, people love them, but I understand why someone wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into something, you're into. If you're not into it, like, the fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why there's. I don't know. Fuck up.
Any Marty Max final thoughts?
Like Jerry
No,
Springer.
I'm actually
Take care of each other.
be good to each other. Wild Stallion. No, but there is a few movies. Like, just go back to your selections. There's a few movies in each of your bundles. I'm very surprised. Not very surprised, but
Just knowing us as
wouldn't have
people.
had, like Child's Play, classic horror movie. I think Lord of the Rings definitely wouldn't have had it on your list. Grease for the nostalgia reasons more so than a good movie or anything.
This is the best movie in my list.
Okay.
I'm counting the
What
first
was your last one there? Just quickly, John Wick.
Yeah.
I like John Wick because it's just
An Arrival.
an hour and 40 minutes of just kicking ass.
Which movie in my list would you surprise at? See, yeah.
Godfather.
Maybe The Godfather. I get why you don't like it, but I don't think the
This
same
is the
way
film
at all.
that on my list that I would pick would be The Grudge.
I'm not surprised. I mean, 101 remakes could have went on to any of our lists, definitely, because a lot of them are dog shit compared to the original. I like Titanic. As I say, I'll watch anything to do with Titanic documentaries, right? Because I've just got that. It's not a fascination with death and
You're a fan
natural
of,
disasters.
You're a fan
but
of history.
Not necessarily. No, definitely not. You know I'm not. But unless it's something blowing up
Yes, yeah,
or
okay.
crashing or sinking.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what I mean. So yeah, good choices. And my own. No, it's all shit.
I think you played it safer than us, man.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't like found footage films. 99% of them. So
Yeah.
there were no brainers for me.
I do.
Top Gun, for every good reason that it is fucking. It's just drone footage
It's
with
basically-
some annoying guys.
It's basically Scientology, isn't it?
Is it?
Basically.
What, Lord of the Rings?
No.
Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. We're going to leave it there. Sorry about the length of the video. He wants the usual customary thing. So, if you watch this video, once you see it, it's too late. So, we'll see you all in the next one. What are you going to do next one?
Why don't you give that away as a
Yeah.
as a viewer prize?
If anybody wants to, you know where to find me. In the comments section. Please leave us some comments down below.
Best comment wins a copy of
Right,
Smile.
next one.
Next one we're going to do 5 each. We'll try to keep these videos short as we can. It says 2-hour video there. But next one will we do 5 movies that we like that other people hate.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Nice
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So that should be that probably be a bit easier for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
same.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
me
So
too.
we'll try that. So cheers. Thanks everybody for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all that other jazz. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think of our picks. And so it's good night from me, and it's good night from them. Good night.